Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Women's Fittest. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have Juliana Malacarne here with me today. How are you doing?
I am doing amazing. I'm doing great. It's a cold, snowy day in New York. Looks beautiful outside, but we are inside.
Yeah, I was curious if you were still in New York and how that compares to how long were you in Brazil?
How long?
Yeah.
How long I lived in Brazil, you mean?
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Brazil, and I moved to the States. I was 30 years old. So 30 years I was in Brazil.
Yeah. Do you miss it at all?
I do miss, but I go there often. So I like more to live in the States, but I like to have the freedom to go back and forward. But yeah, I do miss, but I like my life in here also. So
yeah,
I like to have a little bit of both.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm sorry about the cold. It's been cold over here too, and I'm ready for spring. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for.
I'm ready for warm every day of the year. It's just I choose to be in New York, so I have to deal with this, and I don't complain because that's what it is. So
right.
It's beautiful. It's 4 seasons, and I love it. But I rather warm all year around, definitely.
Yeah, I think the cold helps us appreciate the warm. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Just the cold's too long and the warm's too short. I wish I could remanage that.
Yep, I know. By the time Christmas is done, you're ready for it. And then you still have like 2 or 3 more months and you're like,
Exactly. But thank God today is February 25th. Mm-hmm. And, winter is almost over.
Yeah, we're going to make it. We always make it. So that's good.
Exactly.
Well, I was so excited when you replied to my email that you would be willing to do this. It makes me emotional because you are such a legend and an icon, and I'm just so excited to share your story with all the listeners, because I think you made many of us decide that we wanted to get into bodybuilding and compete, because you just presented the most beautiful package every time you stepped on stage. So just thank you for being on the show today. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you for inviting me for this opportunity, and thank you for the very kind words you just said about me. I'm glad that I was able to inspire others. It's really an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about how you got started on this journey. Did you play any sports as a child? And then kind of what got you into fitness and lifting at the gym, and eventually this sport?
I never played serious any sport. Okay. I just like a little bit of trying everything like kids do. I did more dance. I did more ballet, jazz, more the dance thing. But I was never like so much into anything that was sports or even the dance. I used to go, but I wasn't like a crazy about it. But my mom always wanted me to dance because she loves ballet and things like that. I wasn't so in love with, but I did for her. But I never been like an amazing athlete in anything growing up. When I was about maybe 20 years old, I decided that I want to go in the gym because I want to like thicker thighs or bigger butts like we do in Brazil.
Yes.
So I was a little, I always have a decent body. I was never like too skinny or too heavy growing up. I always have like an athletic look. Mm-hmm. So when I was around 20, I decided it's my time to start to take better care of myself. So I joined a gym, and that's how I started. And I started taking classes, not weight training, nothing like that. After maybe a year doing that, my body really developed well. And someone in the gym told me, why don't you compete? Looks like you have such a good genetics and you should try to compete. I'm like, competing in what? I didn't even know about bodybuilding. However, I always loved muscles because when I was a child and growing up, I used to play like Conan, Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie Conan was my boyfriend. So I always have these attraction. I always thought it was beautiful to build a body, but never thought that was for me. I like to admire in others. So when someone invited me and told me that I should compete, and then I look better into it and say, okay, I can take a shot. That's how I found a little gym in my hometown in Brazil, who was more like a lift weight area. Then I started to go in there, and that's how I started.
That's amazing. So how long was it before you stepped on stage for the first time?
4 months.
4 months. So you were 20 years old?
Yeah.
And how was that first competing experience?
Was amazing. Was like, I didn't know anything about. So for me, it was more like an adventure.
Yes.
It wasn't like it's today. It's nothing like that. Actually, woman with muscles back in the day, it was like terrifying. People used to tell me I look like a guy, or like they would look at me like up and down and say like, hey, what's wrong with you? And I wasn't even like any huge person. But that's how I started. And after that, I trained for 4 months and I won my first show that was like a novels or like a junior or something like that we can call in here. Yeah. So, and I won and I thought, oh, this is awesome. I want to do another one. And that's how it went.
So how many years were you competing before you finally came to, so 10 years goes by before you finally come to the US to compete? Had you been competing all those 10 years?
Almost.
Okay.
Almost. Almost. I actually think I compete with probably around 22 because I started in the gym. I started taking class for a year and then someone invited me. I trained for 4 months and I did my first show. So I was in my early 20s. After that, I decided to take more serious because first was just like a joke, like, okay, let's see this adventure. Then I took a little more serious. I keep dedicating to the weight train. In the following year, I think I won the nationals in Brazil. And the following year, I won the South American Championship. This is all in fitness. I need to tell you this. I started as a fitness competitor, the one who does the routine. Yeah, that's how I started. Then I turned like South America champion. Then like back in the day, they have like a Ibero-American champion. I don't know how they call it in the United States, but it was the whole Central America and South America. And that's how I went. I took a break for 2 years, went back to college to get my degree in physical education. And that's how things progressed. Yeah, but in these 8 years, I competed in Brazil and I was international champion. Okay.
So what year was it that you came here to that you first competed in the States, and what show was that? Do you remember?
Yes. The first show I competed in the States was Europa show in Dallas, Texas. And I came from being a world champion in the amateur class because back in the day, they have 2 different IFBBs. They have the amateur level and then the professional level. So I won the amateur championship in Spain. In that year, I switched for a figure because I decided it was easier because I don't have to do the routine. So I said, let me try the figure. So I switched for figure and I won the national, the South American, the world championship. And I turned pro and I came to the United States. I did my first show was Europa Dallas, 2006. I came in no place. I came for a world champion to no place in a professional level. It was pretty hard. And I look very good. If I show you the pictures, it was like pretty good pictures.
What was your, like, when you first were stepping on stage with those, what was your weight around that time? Did you, because you added quite a bit, didn't you? Did you add quite a bit of muscle?
A little bit. I think my weight was about around 124 pounds.
Okay. Okay.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
So you were kind of, it was a lot of fine tuning over the next 10 years of just moving the weight around a little bit, not so much as gaining weight. I want people to understand, because they look at your pictures and they think you're huge, and you're 5'2" and about 125 pounds winning the Olympia. Is that correct?
119 pounds.
119 pounds. Yeah. And
no more than 120. The year that I present myself at 125, I lost. Was the first Olympia that I ever competed, was the first woman's physique, and Dana Lynn Bailey, she won.
Yeah.
Then I had to adjust my body. I have to come 6 pounds lighter. Then I was able to beat her. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
but then let me just tell you, I did 15 shows in figure, and I lost 15 times in a row. So that was when I came here and I started to compete. And they used to tell me, your body is great, but doesn't fit the criteria for figure at that time, because now it's completely different.
Yeah.
At that time, the girls were very smooth and small, especially in the lower body. And I always have this kind of wellness body that people know about now, but I came with this body from Brazil ever since. Yeah. So always the judges used to tell me in these 15 times that I lost because my lower body, my legs and my glutes, they were a little too big for the division, for the figure at that time.
Yeah.
Yet I was a little too hard. So,
yeah. So that's it. In 2012, they come out with women's physique, and it's a game changer. And 2013 is the first women's physique Olympia. And you go to, so did you win a show in women's physique before you went to the Olympia in women's physique, or did you had gotten your pro card in figure and switched over?
No, I got my pro card in figure. I switched over to women's physique in 2012.
Yep.
I did my first New York Pro and I won.
Yeah.
And then, then 12, then I did, they didn't have Olympia at that year. Yep. Then 13, I did another New York Pro. I won again. And then I went to the Olympia.
I saw you win the New York Pro in 2013. I was there.
Oh, really?
Colette Nelson. And I remember her saying, she pointed you out, you talked to her, you were right by me. I was like, she said, look at the glutes on her, look at her legs. It's like nothing anyone had ever seen before, because even like you said, this is what you guys went for in Brazil, but we're so far behind here, only now learning how to train glutes and legs and get that horse, the Clydesdale.
Right.
Yes, but I remember that. And so it was just iconic to see, you go to the Olympia in 2013. So did you play second that year? Did you play second to Dana?
No,
or further down?
No.
It was further down.
And I was the favorite for be the first woman's physique Olympia, No, I placed 7th. I didn't even got the first call out and was like so disappointing. Yeah.
So much hype and you were just like, what happened? So the judges said to you, tighter, you had to come in tighter. Is that what?
I had to come in smaller. Not tighter, smaller. Yeah. Definitely not tighter.
Okay.
That was sad.
Okay.
Not tight, just smaller. So I literally had to lose muscle. That's what I did, especially my lower body, and try to add a little more to the upper body. That's what I did.
So
that 2013-14.
So did you kind of stop with the heavier lifting and do higher rep, higher volume to try to get rid of some of that muscle over the course of a year? How do you get rid of muscle?
I just sacrificed the diet.
Oh no.
I trained the same. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
trained the same, just the diet that was, I really literally like try to lose and burn muscle. That's what I did. I didn't change much the workout, just the diet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Had you all this time been training the same? Have you always had sort of a style of training that you knew what you were doing, or has it evolved over the last, like from the beginning?
From the beginning of my career, you mean, to Women's Physique?
Yeah.
The train, I just do Women's Physique. What I had to do, I had to grow my upper body that I didn't have much. And I honestly never like it much.
Okay.
You know, and it's not that something that I Women's Physique, it was a class that my body fits, wasn't the class that I choose to compete on.
Okay.
You understand? So I have to adjust my body. I have to grow my upper body and try to slim my lower body. So that's what I did to adjust for what they thought was the ideal physique for the class at the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they definitely want more of a symmetry going on top to bottom.
Right. Correct. Uh-huh.
So let's talk about 2014 then, right?
Okay.
What was that like?
That was, like I just said, try to lose muscle, try to adjust the poses also for not showing much, especially in the legs. I remember they changed my pose at that New York Pro specifically to not show so much volume in my legs.
Okay.
So yeah, it was really like an adjustment diet, and work on these details to try to, make that perfect for what they thought was the ideal.
It's so crazy because everyone goes into posing, it seems like, trying to make themselves look as big as possible in certain places and as small as possible in other places. And here you are trying to hide a lot of your assets that you've worked so hard for to look like how you're supposed to look. So
Mm-hmm.
2014 Olympia comes up.
Uh-huh.
You killed it.
Yes. Oh my God, that was an amazing feeling because I really didn't know. I tried to adjust and come smaller, come just tight enough, because they always told me, you're gonna lose if you present yourself too big. You're not gonna lose if you present yourself in the smaller side. So in everything, everybody looks at me and think I'm a huge, and everybody tried to copy me and try to get like monster size, and wasn't the thing. So I work on all those, and I was 6 pounds lighter. I adjust a little bit the pose. I could not, they used to tell me, no striations in your glutes. If you have striations, you're gonna lose, but you have to be tight. So even the pose was hard because I had to tighten up everything, and I have to kind of soft my butt.
Yeah.
So it was like all this, like these little things, these little trains that I have to do to feel mentally, to not mess up on stage, because once the anxiety kicks in and you were like, oh my God, you messed everything up. So I have to be cool enough to remember every detail of how to pose, and worked out, and it was great. And I really came hungry for that Olympia, but I didn't know if they would give me the opportunity if they would keep Dana, who was an icon in the sport, super famous, who comes with an amazing condition. So it was really like a huge challenge for me, and I was really happy that they decided to go for my look at that year. That was, oh my God, an amazing winning.
The picture is something that's embedded in my memory of the two of you on stage holding hands, waiting for them to announce the winner,
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was such like people was talking so much about me and her, and make us like hate each other, something that never happened on my side, and I don't think happened on her side either. And I remember I saw her at Babs maybe 2 or 3 weeks before, and I came to her and I said, I just want you to know that I'm not competing like against you. I think we need to empower each other, and it's not about me and you. It's, you know, it's about when we step on stage, who they are going to choose, but there's nothing personal. So we talk, we hug, and it was really nice because we knew it wasn't like people was making so much of a big deal, social media or websites of me and her, like the appearance that we hate each other, and that was totally not true, completely untrue.
Yeah, they do love a rival, you know, the Kai Green, Phil Heath rival, and, you know,
Yeah.
and Phil Heath and they're always looking for, you know, a little bit of drama to suck people in, but
yes,
you both are beautiful, beautiful women and beautiful representatives of the sport. You know, but yeah, I mean, when you look at, you know, we talked to a lot of people about who do you think the GOAT was with women's physique. And, you know, it always goes back to, even now as the sport is evolving, you know, people just, Juliana, like we just love Juliana, you know.
That's great. That's awesome. That's awesome to hear that people still like my look.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I think you inspired so many women because, you know, like you said, so many people would say the muscles were so masculine, but it was so, you know, somebody like you especially was just beautifully feminine. You know, the muscles, the full bellies look like curves. And even though you were conditioned completely, you know, it didn't look at all masculine, in the presentation and everything else was just amazing. So I think you'll always be a legend. You'll always be, you know, you'll always be that person that kind of represents women.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Yes, I did my my mission. I accomplished my mission.
Absolutely. When you came here to the States and were competing, were there women that you were looking up to as far as like not just competition, but that you admired? Did you connect? I know it was just the beginning of social media, so I don't know how much that was an arm for you to reach out with, but were there women that you were looking at thinking, oh, I really like how she looks, or who inspired you? Anybody?
Yes, who inspired me was Monica Brandt.
Yes.
But she was before I turned pro, actually in the very beginning of my amateur career. I always loved her look, and I want to look like her.
Yeah.
And I also like Jenny Lim.
I don't know who that is. I have to look
She
up.
passed away. I think she passed away last year. She was, I think, 2 times Miss Olympia.
Okay.
And so yeah, these girls, they were like my inspiration, but they are like from back in the day, so I don't think most people do not know about them. Maybe Monica, but Jenny not as much.
I think I follow Monica. I think I'm friends with her on Facebook as well. Jenny Lynn, was she the one did she have a car accident? Was there something crazy that happened? Or do you remember?
I don't think she had a car accident. I don't remember how she died, but it's not too long ago. I think it was probably 1 or 2 years ago, 2 years maybe. Okay. I don't know, but I think maybe she died in her sleep or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but she was like a beautiful body, a beautiful girl, and was I used to look up to her back in the day.
Awesome. Did you follow the men at all as well?
I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do.
I think before women's physique came along, I was following the men a lot, and I loved the sport for that reason. It was beautiful as well. I think about like Kevin Levrone and Sean Ray, and their posing was beautiful to watch. It was completely art, you know. So yeah.
I've been following the bodybuilding world since at the beginning of the 2000s.
Yeah.
So it's been like 20 something years that I've been following. And yeah, I still follow everybody. And I try to, I'm not involved, but I'm still following. I'm involved somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask you that if you still keep up with, everyone who's competing and follow that stuff. It's pretty easy to stay in tune with it if you're on social media.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I still do. I still follow. I still check the Olympians. Yeah, I do. And I train at Bev's gym, who is an icon gym. So we see a lot of like pros there, especially during the season. They're always coming to visit to see Steve or to get a workout there, to do a video or something. So yeah, I'm always around them.
And do you get a lot of them? Do people know who you are?
Yes, the people from the industry know, but a lot of the young people, they do not. No, they do not know. And I'm very quiet. I'm an introvert.
Yes.
So I'm like a very quiet person. I'm very like discreet. I try not to get attention or things like that because not much of my thing. So yeah, but most people do know who I am from the industry, of course.
Yeah, I know that you are more of an introvert. Very sweet. I don't know if you remember that I met you, and I think it was 2016 at the Pittsburgh Pro. I went and had a picture with you, and then I think you came back around and recognized who I was because I think I commented and stuff so much on you. You're like, oh, that's Buff Cake because Victor took our video.
Yes, and I do remember. Oh, you're always a big like a supporter, a fan and a supporter. Thank you, always.
Yeah, so easy to support. So let's talk about, 2014, you won your first Olympia and then spent the next 3 years dominating the Olympia.
Right. Thank God. Oof.
It was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So 2017, you decided that was going to be the last time that you were going to. I don't even remember, were you getting ready for the 2018 Olympia and then you decided it was time to retire? Or did you decide after stepping off stage in 2017 that would probably be the last time?
2017, I met my current fiance, and there was a few factors that made me stop competing.
Yeah.
One, I didn't have any great sponsor. I wasn't making really any money from this and dedicating my life to this, and it wasn't really. I had to work as a personal trainer or do events or things like that to still be making money. I wasn't have like a sponsor like helping me out. So that was one thing. Financially wasn't worth it. I want to try to have a baby. And I was in my early 40s already. And I say, I got to stop this because, I don't know how long gonna take. I never been pregnant in my life. I never tried to get pregnant, but never happened. Not even an accident ever happened. So I don't know how that's gonna go, how long that's gonna take, this and that. And my fiance, he also, he supported me, but wasn't his thing. He would like me maybe, dedicated to us and to my personal life and things like that. So, but in the women's physique division was getting to a direction that wasn't making me happy anymore. It was getting like a little too hard, too bodybuildish. I think was losing the, what was created for, to still be like feminine and pretty and lean and tight, but not like so freakish. Yeah. So that also was another thing that I don't want to keep doing that to myself, because I think healthy is something that is the most important thing we have, our healthy and our time in life. So for all these reasons, I decided that it was time to stop. Do I want 5 titles? Yes, my goal was to get 5. But if I got 5, or even if I got 6 or 7, I don't think it would make much of a difference. Besides the fact my ego, yeah, I'm 4 times Olympia, but it would be maybe 6, 5, 6, 7 times. I don't know, So I say, you know what? I think I did enough. I compete 5 Olympias, I won 4, and I had 4 different runner-ups. So people tried to take that title from me really hard. They weren't able to achieve. So I just thought it was a great time to say goodbye. Yeah. And I have done everything. I compete in 3 different classes, and I'm 4 times world champion, and that's it. I'm done. That was it. I didn't start my prep for 2018, but I announced in 2018, but I had in mind since the end of my 2017 that I think that's gonna be it. This took me a few months to mature the idea in my head and decided to let people know.
Yeah. I think it's really cool that you just go, you know what, I had this dream, I accomplished this dream, and now I get to follow a new dream,
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. While I have a little bit of time, because the window was closing, was like this big, So, but I achieved.
I was so excited for you. I have to say, I know being a parent is like my everything, having my daughter is everything to me, and I would give up my whole life for her, so I think that comes across even in your photos that you post on Instagram, that it's just your joy. So I'm so happy for you that you were able to become a mother.
Thank you. That was my biggest dream. So in being able to achieve that and have my daughter with me today, oh my God, that's my greatest gift. That's my greatest accomplishment in life, along with my Olympia titles. But having my daughter is just like, I don't even have words to express how I feel.
Do you feel like it gives you purpose? Like, that's what I think, it gives you purpose,
Absolutely. Give me, I hold different, I have a huge respect for mothers now, that not that I didn't have before, but not even close to how I feel now, because I know, how hard it is, but also how rewarding it is. It's just like, it's amazing. I love being a mom. I enjoy every second of every day, even in the hard days or the hard hours. I laugh because I want this so bad, and took me 2.5, 3 years to be able to achieve. So it's like, it's priceless. I love every second of every day.
It sounds like, both of those accomplishments took a very long time, and it's so much sweeter when you have to earn it. I know. Yeah, it took me about 3.5 years before I got pregnant with my daughter too. So
right.
I just
fell
on my knees thanking God. It was something I wanted so bad.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it is just like, I don't even know how to explain. But one thing I tell people, you need to be prepared mentally, physically, and possibly financial, because if you don't have these 3 things going on, it's really hard. That's why I see people struggling to like raise a family or things like that, because it's beyond tiring. It's so much work. But I was mentally ready. I think physically, I'm in my late 40s, but I'm still pretty good. And thank God, financially, we have a decent life, so we can afford to have a baby, and I can afford not work, stay home, take care of this baby. So it's been amazing. It's amazing. I don't even know what else to say.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you. I was talking about you on one of the last podcasts, and we were saying that how, you won that last Olympia. You were 42, were you not?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. People think, they think it's too late to get started in fitness. And I that's like my line now. I'm like, Juliana won Miss Olympia at 42 years old. So I mean, you need to get started if it's something that, obviously it's great for your health, but, again, just another way that you are encouraging other people to get involved in the sport at any age, whenever they can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, so amazing. So, how old is your daughter now?
She's gonna be 4 months Sunday.
Wow. Are you up a lot during the night still? You're probably exhausted, aren't you?
Believe it or not, my baby sleeps from 9:30 to 7 every night.
Oh,
Every night since the beginning, since like 5 weeks old.
wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
she sleeps well, but she's awake during the day a lot. So, but I'm totally fine with that. I take that sleeping the whole night and awake during the day, totally fine. Yeah. So it's very tiring still. I'm not gonna say it's not tiring, but I can't complain that I'm like up all night or things like that. I never been. Yeah. I'm lucky. It's so far it's been good. I hope it stays like that.
That's awesome. I think regardless what happens, you make it work. And I think you make it through the time and you look back and you still think it was wonderful, even if it was tough,
And goes so fast. That's why I tell people all the time, I want to enjoy every second, because I feel like I gave birth last week. She's going to be 4 months Sunday. You understand? Like, just go so fast. I want to enjoy every second. I really cherish every moment, even the hard ones. Yeah. I really appreciate.
Yeah. Well, sounds like you were just made to be a mom then.
Now I am. But I have to do all that. So I feel really like complete in life now with her.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you think that you, if wellness had come out sooner, do you think you would have transitioned to try to do wellness?
I do think I had a huge chance of being Miss Olympia in that class.
I don't think so.
I do. It just came a little too late for me, but I had the body back then, that's why I never did well in fever, because I had the wellness body. Of course, they are amazing, but I could adjust to that. If I adjust for physique, I would definitely, that would be much easier with my body style to adjust. So I love that class. And if that class had come sooner, probably, yes, I would have competed. And I believe I would be a strong contender, in jokes aside with winning the Olympia. But I believe I would be a great contender for that class. Mm-hmm. I love it. I think they're beautiful. They're so hot. I'm a fan of them all. I follow them all. I write to them. Like, I love them all. Yeah.
I agree. I honestly, it's probably my favorite category now. I just think that it's like, that's the body I would love to walk around in. It just looks phenomenal.
Exactly. Yeah. And we have this class in Brazil since 2005.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. We're so far behind.
Yeah. I remember my girlfriend, Alessandra, she was the very first winner in Brazil. And I remember when she won in 2005. Yeah. So this is starting in Brazil. Man, like how long? Like 17 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when it came here, everybody was like, what is this? How do you describe it? And we're just like, it's awesome. Like, that's how you describe it. Like, Brazil's been doing this forever. So yeah.
And in my opinion, it's beautiful bodies. They have like beautiful legs, beautiful butts, small waist. They are tight enough on top, because I don't like when the top is too much.
Yeah.
I'm not that's I said before, I did physique because that's what my body fits better. If I have to choose, I don't think I would have chosen a physique class for me, but there was worked, and I'm beyond happy and of all what I have achieved. But I think wellness are amazing, and I love the body. They have enough definition on top, but I love the butt and the legs, super hot. And the waists are like this big. How they get that?
I don't know. I know. I mean, stomach vacuums are huge now. Everybody's doing the stomach vacuums.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I know when I was watching the Olympia, they had this like Latin flair music playing at the same time. And I was like, God, I really want the soundtrack to this music. I just really can't get into listening to this while you have these, incredible women that are just built like.
I want so bad to go to the Olympia, but I was 2 weeks before I gave birth, so I couldn't make that last year. But I will try this year. I kind of want to try to go this year to Vegas. Let's see if it's gonna work.
No, it's back in Vegas too. So
I just don't like it's in December. It's like a bad time to go to Vegas. It's the worst time to go to Vegas.
Why is it because normally it was in September? Why is it bad in December in Vegas? Is it because colder?
Yes. I have no idea why they changed that I don't know. But December in Vegas is like kind of winter, so you want to go to Vegas to at least be, outside and be a little warm and things like that. So I don't like much the date, but I probably will, because I want to see the girls. And I have my friend, she's the current Miss Olympia. So they are all my friends, but Franciele is a good friend of mine. So I want to support her. Actually, she was supposed to come here last weekend, but she had a problem with the vaccine. I don't think she was fully vaccinated to come to the States, so she decided to postpone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world changed after COVID, big time.
Don't tell me. Yeah. Sucks. But I hope things are getting towards an end, or at least something like we can live with,
Yeah, absolutely. I know I like living in a free country. We've had some of our freedoms taken away, and doesn't feel like America sometimes,
Yeah, absolutely. But actually all over the world was the same. Brazil, the same. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you know Evie Hein?
Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just wondered if you actually knew each other. I did interview her, and I've talked to her a couple of times, and I just love her. She's a beautiful person.
Yes. She's a very, very nice lady. Very nice lady. I actually know her husband since the late 90s in Brazil, like way before she was with him. Like I know Fabiano for the longest time, because the bodybuilding, he's been involved in this for way before I am. So she's a sweetheart, beautiful family, nicest people.
I know. I was hoping that she was going to place higher at the Olympia this past year. I was a little disappointed, I want to say. I'll just say it. I'm just going to say it.
Of course, why not? You have all the rights to have your favorites. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. So
not always go the way we wish would go.
No, I know. And it's tough now. It's tough with the direction that the sport is going, like you said. I wanted to say that because I remembered when it first came out, I thought, oh, this is like women's bodybuilding, but obviously not as big. And they described it as athletic female muscle. And I really loved that. And it, and you and Dana, these were physiques that looked amazing, but like you said, not freaky. And,
right.
And it has evolved a lot to,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To a point that I don't like as much as I used to.
Yeah.
Because the difference now it's only the volume. The women's bodybuilder are just much bigger, but in terms of conditioning, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see much of a difference, just the volume. They're just smaller bodybuilders, but they have striations everywhere. And I don't know. I think lost the femininity of this. So that's what kind of turned me off. It started to turn me off like in kind of 2017. I present myself a little tighter than the prior years, and I already say like, this is amazing that I achieved this, but do I like this as a look? Not really. So I spoke to a judge and I say, can I try to tone down a little bit for 2018?
Yeah.
No. They said, no, you need to keep going like that. So that was kind of like my, the start point for me. They're like, I think I want to dedicate my personal life, and that was it.
It takes so much of your, when you're involved in the sport, especially at that level, right? It's got to take all of your energy.
Oh, you have no life, and you have no time for anything. That's why I never got married. I never had a babies, because I want to dedicate. I want this so bad. I want to be a Miss Olympia. So I really dedicated. Anything who was in my way that could interfere me to get where I want to be, I would push aside. And I kept, so I'm very determined when I want something. I really don't give up. So took me here to be 4-time Miss Olympia, to have a daughter at 46. So all these things are amazing. But it's my persistence. I am beyond persistent. I don't give up.
Awesome. I think that's what it takes, right? That's what it takes. I mean, just to be successful in life, right? Not giving up. Those are the people that win.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's why I tell people, just don't give up. But not everybody has the same drive, and sometimes things happen in life that is out of our control. So sometimes it doesn't work for everybody, but if you want something bad, just work for it as hard as you can.
Yeah. That's good advice. So are you still training? Did you train? I mean, I saw videos online. You were training throughout your pregnancy as well. You kept training and kept up in the gym, did you not? Yeah. Yes,
I trained until the day before I went to the hospital to give birth. I had a pretty tough labor.
Okay.
I was 48 hours in labor, so it was really tough. But my body couldn't dilate it.
Yes.
But it did because I didn't do a C-section. I had my daughter a natural, but it was pretty traumatic. Let's just say that. It was really tough. But I went to the gym on Sunday. Then on Monday, I went to the hospital, and I had my baby on Wednesday. So, yeah. And then I think maybe 6 weeks after, I started to slowly going back. And now I'm back. I'm still not like lifting heavier like I used to. That's not even my goal anymore. But yeah, I'm back in the gym 3 or 4 times a week, and I'm back doing my cardio 4 or 5 times a week. I'm trying to eat a little better, and I'm trying to get my body, getting back to a point that I'm happy with, not to like stage ready, nothing like that.
Yeah. Well, you got to let yourself heal after.
Yes.
I mean, it is I mean, you talk about it being your experience being traumatic, but it's a traumatic event to your body as well. And so let me ask you this. Do you see a lot of moms online, and do you feel like there's a lot of pressure for moms to bounce back to their pre-pregnancy bodies? Do you see a lot of that, or did you ever feel that type of pressure to like, oh, I need to lose my pregnancy weight? And, do you feel like there was an expectation?
I do feel definitely is an expectation. For me, I don't need anyone to expect anything. I want to do for myself.
Sure.
So for me, it was like, I want to lose this weight. Yeah, I want to lose this weight as soon as possible. Not doing anything crazy, but you know, still respect my body, but I want to be in shape as soon as possible. Yes, the pressure is out there, it is, but I also think a lot of women use that excuse that I have a baby, and you have the baby, your baby is 18 months and you're still like 30 pounds heavier. Do you understand? So like things like that, I think a lot of people take advantage of the excuse of I just had a baby. So
Yeah.
yeah, I follow some moms, and some are amazing, and I try not to compare myself. I try to think I'm like unique, and on my time my body gonna go back, do that whole routine to my own self, because otherwise you can drive yourself crazy, especially being in your 40s and try to see moms in their late 20s. Not gonna, you know, you can't compare. So I try to play this game with myself, but I'm the one who decided that I had enough and I want to get back in shape. And it's been 16, 17 weeks, and I'm on my way back. As I told you, I don't want to be stage ready, but I want to be in the summer and put a bikini, and it looks good. And you look at me and say, oh yeah, her stomach has skin. Yeah, but I had a baby, you know, so I can't expect my body to be exactly like it was before. But I still want to be like a hot mom. Always, even if I'm like 75, in my head I still want to be a hot mom or a hot woman or something like that.
I think you will, just because of the confidence that you exude. You know, I'm envious. You just are like, no BS, like this is how it is. I love my life, I love my choices, very happy with myself. I just
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Life is not supposed to be like this. Like, you know, you gotta live every day like it was the last day, because you don't know tomorrow. Live to the fullest and be happy. That's why I try to be happy every day, and I try to be grateful every day, you know, for everything that I achieve in my life, that I have. And I don't know if everybody sees how I see, you know.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I think this is, I know, I noticed that with Evie as well. I think that, I don't know, you Brazilians are doing something right. You're raising some very mentally strong women, because I noticed a similar mindset with the both of you. I love that though.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that you realize that you're in control of your life and you choose to be happy every day. I love that.
Yes, exactly. Because life is made of choices, and, you know, you make your choice. So I always tell this to people, like, make the right choice, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to live with it. So try to make the right choice. And yes, it's okay to make mistakes, because that's the only way we learn. But learn from that mistake, or try to learn from somebody else's mistake. Just don't repeat the mistake 3-4 times, because what's the point? You're not growing as a person.
Oh, that's so true. I
Mhm.
like to make mistakes 2 or 3 times just to make sure. I'm just kidding.
Don't do it. It's a waste. Just one time is enough to learn. Move on. On to the next.
On to the next mistake. On to the
Not
next.
the next mistake. The next good thing.
I'm just teasing. Oh, so great. So, so you're going to be following the Arnold in the next week or so, be watching that. Do you not think it's so great that they have the live streams now? The live streams are really good. You know, like $60, and you can, even the Olympia. I watched the past Olympia, and it was quite nice, you know?
Oh, it's amazing that they have these things nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, because you can be pretty much there in a way, you know, feel the emotions and root for your people and see them like, you know, at the same time. And something that we didn't have this in the past, and was really like, oh my God, did you see any website? Did you see any pictures? Like things like that. So this, I think, is amazing too. I think it's amazing, this pay-per-view, these technologies are like great. I'm terrible, but I love them all. But I don't understand. I'm terrible with technology or these things. You know, I'm like an old school I'm an old school bodybuilder.
Yeah, I am honestly, I'm the same way. I should probably have more like, like I record this podcast on my computer. I don't even have like podcasting equipment, and it's successful.
Right.
Why would I spend any more money on anything more when it's working just fine this way? So
Exactly. We have a nice chat here, and it's awesome. It's working.
absolutely. Well, Juliana, what would if you had some advice for the women listening, based off your experiences and, what everything that you've learned, what would you say to them, about your life, or advice about their life, or, things with social media or whatever? What would you say? Or fitness?
One thing I like to tell you, I always tell people about competing, let's say, about building your body. You just have to be patient and persistent and consistent, because people, especially nowadays with the social media, or they want immediate results or immediate fix. Things do not happen like that. So what people need, they need to be patient. They need to dedicate themselves. They need to be consistent. And sometimes things doesn't go the way you expect, and you're going to be disappointed. And you need to be resilient to get up and do it again. So people, they just give up too easy. They want things to happen too fast. They want quick fixes in everything in life, and life does not work like that.
Yeah. I was thinking that one of the things I love about having the women that have been in the sport so long on the podcast is because you have so much wisdom, because we are getting, these girls who got into the sport kind of when social media started, and that was their beginning, and they're already just cramming a lot into a few years time. And I love that message that because you are the example of this, being resilient, not going to extremes when, things didn't go your way, but just to get back on the horse and keep doing what you're doing. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think people should, step back and think about, and, make better decisions too. Because a lot of times they make quick and wrong decisions. So think more, take a little longer, but we'll get there, just need time. Sometimes people do not take time.
Yeah. Well, do you have time just for a few more fun questions before we go? Do you have time?
Sure.
All right, cool.
Absolutely.
So what was your favorite thing and your least favorite thing about prep?
My favorite thing about prep?
Yeah.
It's getting shape, have a six-pack. Like, see the body, like, oh my God, look at this. That's my favorite thing. My least favorite thing, probably is, I don't even know if it's the diet. I was going to say the diet, but I do think is the pressure of doing well. I think that's the worst thing, prep, that you put in yourself, or others expect from you.
Yeah. After you won that first Olympia, did you have anxiety every time for the years to come, or were you like, no, I got this?
When
at the Olympia,
I'm not a person who has anxiety in general. I'm not an anxious person. I'm a very laid back and calm person.
Okay.
But the pressure of do your best and being better every year and do not disappoint anyone, it's tough. I think that was the toughest for me.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. what do you think is what's the best and the worst thing about social media?
The worst thing about social media is people believe in things that they are not true. It's very like deceiving. The best thing about social media, I don't know. I think you can learn about other people. I think that's nice. You can, it's certain things that people I would never learn about in other countries or other continents, then we all connect. So I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even stuff like, if you follow any of the stuff like places around the world, like you see some of these places that are just so beautiful. You never would have seen pictures of
exactly. So this I think is the best part, but it's so fake and deceiving too that you're gonna believe in something you don't know if it's true. So not the place. I mean people in general.
Yeah. I mean, people are always going to present their best. So
yeah,
which isn't real life. Obviously, life is not a bowl of cherries all the time.
no, that's what I say. Life's supposed to be like this, not like this.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't feel like you were living if you weren't on a roller coaster.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
What is your biggest gym pet peeve?
Oof. My biggest gym pet peeve. There are a few. Let's see one that I pick. I hate when people do not unload the machines.
Yes.
They leave the weights on, or they don't put the weights back, or everything like correct. That's, I think, one my huge pet peeves in the gym.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that 100%. You're going to go and use a machine and there's like 4 plates on it and you're like,
yeah. And I'm a woman, so that drives me like insane, because it's really like no I forgot the word now that I was going to say, but people just don't care, especially not at Babs, because Babs is like a bodybuilder gym, but you go for like regular gyms.
Yeah.
It's really like terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I think my biggest pet peeve.
That's a good one. Let's see. What is are you a big foodie person? Do you love food?
I do.
What is your favorite, like, sort of cheat meal?
My favorite, probably it's something with a lot of cheese, like maybe pizza, or I really like cheese. I'm like a cheese person. I love it. I don't eat as much, but I love it. Yeah.
I always tell my daughter that cheese is something you eat while you're looking for something else to eat.
Right? I love cheese.
That's great. What is your favorite? So can you tell us a little bit about how your training was when you, when you were training for like the Olympia? What did your training split look like?
I used to train pretty much like as a bodybuilder workout. I used to do a back, one day chest, one day shoulders, one day arms, one day quads, one day hamstrings, and one day rest.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your favorite part to train?
My favorite part to train when I was competing for a woman's physique was back. I always like to train every body part, to be honest with you. I can tell you the least favorite body part that I don't ever train.
Okay.
It's abs. And calves is kind of rare.
Yeah.
Those 2 body parts. But the rest, I like everything. But I like back.
Yeah.
A lot of back when I was doing a woman's physique. Now I train more like legs and glutes, and like more lower body. Yeah.
When you were training back, did you deadlift? What did like a back workout kind of look like for you?
Pull-ups,
Yeah.
deadlifts,
Yeah.
rows, like really like a guy workout,
Yeah.
like a guy bodybuilder. Yeah, train like a dude. I never lifted super heavy. I'm not a super strong person, but I always like to train like a guy. Yeah.
I think
Uh-huh.
that's how because there was so much more information about how the men were training. That's what and I started following the men first. So I was always like, oh, I guess they've got the most muscle, so I'll follow how they're training.
Right. Exactly. I want to improve, as much as they do.
Right.
Especially for that class. I need it.
Yeah. Yes.
Huh?
I think, do you not think this is a mistake a lot of women make because they lift too light because they don't want to get big, and then they don't progress because they're not really pushing themselves?
Yeah, because they don't have the right information. So for them to get big, sweetheart, you can lift as much as you want. I don't even gonna notice much of a progress, to be honest. They just have this misconception of, if I train a little heavier, I'm gonna be, and we know that for us to build muscles, it's not easy as a man. So yeah, I just think that it's funny to me, but I totally say, oh, okay, all right. I'm not gonna try to get in a discussion with you because you don't know about the hormones, you don't have enough testosterone to so I said, okay, no problem. So do you want a little tone? So what do you like? So I just go with the flow, whatever they tell me. Yeah, but usually, especially when I was lean, they used to tell me, oh, I love your arms. They're amazing. Can I touch? But things like that. Woman used to touch me so much more than men. No, men, of course, men not gonna touch you because they can get in trouble. But I mean, women usually come in like they don't care. They touch me like everything. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Did you have people touching you when you were pregnant at all? Did you get any of that?
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. I did get that too. Not as much as I thought I would get.
Yeah.
But yes, I did. Especially like they want to touch the belly and things like that. Yeah, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. I thought it'd be worse. I think people are sometimes a little intimidated by me, and also I'm not like super friendly. But it's just my personality. I'm not gonna get to the place and say, "Hey," I am not like that. I'm saying, "Hi, how are you?" I'm an introvert. I'm more quiet. So people feel like a little intimidated, I think, by that. I'm assuming that. So
Yeah, that's funny. I only had I think one person when I was pregnant, and I bet you probably have it less because you had your baby after the pandemic, so people were a little bit more not touching people as much.
yes, correct. That makes sense. That's true. Yep.
Oh goodness. Well, what's the future look like for Juliana?
The future, I'm loving my life.
Yeah.
I'm loving being a mom.
Yeah.
We are planning on get married probably next year. So I'll be planning a wedding, probably 2 weddings, because I think we may gonna have one in Brazil, one here. But that's for now. It's just we're just talking about. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
For my future in terms of professional,
Sure.
I really don't know. I think I like maybe in the future to have like a show.
Yeah.
But a
Yes.
competition on. But I only would do a show if I can give great prize.
Yeah.
I would never do anything like people do and give like $2,000 to the winner.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
So no, if I can give 20 grand each, 15, 10, 50, whatever it is, I would have a show.
Yeah.
So that's my plan. But I don't know. I don't know when or anything, but that's my ideas for future. That's all. And get married, take care of my husband, my daughter, and maybe have a show in the future, but like a nice one, a really nice one. Cause I wanna reward the bodybuilders because we are not rewarded at all. You know, it's like nothing. So comparing to other sports, you know, that's very hurtful to me.
Yeah. What do you think about doing, like, you know, so you have like the Juliana Malacarne Pro show, and it's just the women's categories?
That's cool. That's something to think about. As I'm telling you, I didn't think about anything or format or anything yet, but that's a goal that I have. One thing that I want to do is like a decent prize money prize.
Seems
Money
like
prize.
if it was just the women, they could dedicate all the money to the show, to the women, and you could increase the prize money for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would
Oh
say,
yeah. That's all.
I think that's awesome. Well, this has been amazing. I knew it was going to be amazing. I was so nervous.
Really?
Yes.
No way.
I was nervous. I do get I always am like, when I especially like if I meet, you know, some of the pros who are just celebrities to me in person, I always think just go talk to them and be yourself and ask and tell them, you know, what you think and everything. And it's always like, but I am more of an introvert also, so it takes a lot, but I never have regretted that experience of going over and meeting somebody, because, you know, like somebody like you is just amazing. So, you know, I mean, my advice to people are like, get out of your shell, because you're not going to accomplish anything or have anything great happen if you don't, you know, get past what your fear is and go for it.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get away from the comfort zone is hard.
It
Get
is.
away from the comfort zone is hard, but it's one of the greatest things we can do it to ourselves. You know, I don't like either, but I always learn and improve when I do that. So it was amazing. It was great. I had a great time with you. It was really fun.
Thank you. Thank you
Of
so much.
course.
Um,
Of course.
so where can people find you and follow you if they want to follow the rest of your journey?
They can follow me on Instagram, JuiceFit10.
Yep.
And my Facebook is Juliana Malacarne. That's only my social medias. I don't have a website at the moment or anything like that. I don't want to be an influencer. I'm not trying to grow my social media, because I get every day so many emails for people trying to get me to sponsor their products. And I'm not trying. I'm just trying to be a normal person. My page is just my personal page. I do whatever I want. If it's not professional enough, or I don't care. So I'm just, for whoever is watching this, I don't care. I don't want to be an influencer. I don't.
Yeah, I just love that you're just living your life and people can take it or leave it, but you're doing amazing things, and you have been doing amazing things for a long time. So
thank you. Thank you.
Well,
it was amazing.
Thank you so much again for your time. And I just wish you all the best with your parenting and your wedding and your daughter and your new show that I think that's a great idea. I think they should have a show named after you. You should sponsor a show. I think
So yeah, that's one of the ideas that I have in my head for the future.
Yeah, it's on the list. It's on
the list.
Well, we will continue to support you in everything that you do. So thank you again.
Thank you so much. I had so much fun. Thanks for the opportunity. I don't talk much, so I like when I do these things and people get to know me a little more. Yeah. Because I don't do much of this, but I really appreciate you. Were a sweetheart. I always liked you since the first time we met. We've been in touch on social media and everything. And I wish you the best with your podcast. And I hope it grows more and more. And I will do again if you want me to.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'd love to have you come back and, maybe we can talk about after the Olympia or something like that. That would
Exactly,
be cool.
exactly. We can do something together, maybe, definitely.
So fun. All right. Well, so everyone, thanks again for watching and listening to another episode of the Women's Fittest. You can find me on Instagram at buffcake22. You can follow the podcast at the Women's Fittest and listen on any platform where you find your favorite podcasts. And to remember that healthy looks different on everybody. Have a great day.